What's going on, everyone? So the other night, Jimmy Butler was at the LA Sparks game and really kind of caused a stir. Now, Jimmy Butler talked about how, 22 looks good in the purple and gold. All right. He was wearing a Cameron Brinks jersey. He taking photos with Cameron Brinks, who wears 22. And, a lot of people look at this as he's trolling the Lakers and, kind of hint, hint, wink, wink, just kind of mock and make fun in a lot of ways. I don't necessarily think it was that. Now, I'm not saying that he's coming to the Lakers. I'm not saying strap in, he's going to be a Laker. But one of the big things with Jimmy Butler right now is kind of the noise with the Miami Heat, right? He said some stuff about, hey, something paraphrasing, but something along the lines of like, hey, if these guys would be eliminated if I was playing. And then Pat Riley chimes in with like, you should keep your mouth shut if you're not on the basketball court. And again, it kind of sparked this media frenzy of like, uh-oh, is Jimmy Butler? How is he going to take that? And look, I've talked about it before that like, I don't think Jimmy Butler is going to take slight by that, right? Like Jimmy Butler, he loves that competitiveness. Him and Pat Riley are like a match made in heaven. I just think that this to me seems more of like a shot and kind of leverage play that we see so many people do, whether it's coaches and players and free agents and potential trades and stuff, where they use the Lakers as that leverage point to kind of get what they want with their current organization or their current situation, right? And to me, that's kind of what it is, right? So Jimmy Butler says, for some reason, the number 22 just looks good in purple and gold, right? So this is what he said. This is what people kind of are running with. Again, I don't think it's anything more than he's just taking in a game. Most of these guys are in LA. Most of these guys are hanging out and working out and just they have houses and all kinds of stuff in LA. But to me, I look at this more of like Jimmy wants an extension. There's a lot of talks about Miami could potentially trade Jimmy Butler. Miami is kind of considering not giving him an extension. You hear the talks about the Philadelphia 76ers that they really want Jimmy Butler, that they regret letting Jimmy Butler go. And if they can kind of work it out, then they'd love to bring in Jimmy Butler and give him an extension. Look, Jimmy is a Miami guy, right? He is the embodiment of Heat culture, that hardworking, hard-nosed, kind of take no BS type guy. He can be a little goofy, a little funny, right? A little goth hair and stuff like that. But Jimmy Butler and Miami are just, it's a match made in heaven. Right, look at all the other destinations that Jimmy Butler was at and all the controversies and just like, oh, is he worth it? Blah, 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 right? He's causing all these, these problems in locker rooms and, especially like with teams like Minnesota, right? And, he goes to Miami and it's in many ways just been nothing but success and overachievement in a lot of ways, right? Playoff Jimmy is a real playoff Jimmy and Jimmy Butler is a real thing. And it's been impressive seeing kind of Miami's runs and what they've been able to accomplish with Jimmy Butler. And look, I would love Jimmy Butler on the Lakers, right? If there was a real shot to get Jimmy Butler on the Lakers, like why wouldn't I? But even if there was a possibility, which again, I don't believe there is. One, I don't think Pat Riley would do that. I think Pat Riley would take a smaller deal in order to go and send Jimmy elsewhere, right? Even if the Lakers were willing to sell the farm for Jimmy Butler, which I would not want the Lakers to do. If you could get Jimmy Butler at a reasonable cost, right? Like if you could get Jimmy Butler for, I don't know, like a first and a pick swap or something, plus, obviously salaries and stuff, then sure. But Jimmy Butler, what it would probably take is multiple firsts and all of your young talent for a 34-year-old soon to be 35-year-old who is coming off of several injuries these last few years and is not kind of, yes, he was just in the finals last year, but there have been concerns that like, what is he going to look like as he progresses year in and year out, only getting older, right? I just don't think that he's the move for now and the future, right? I do think if you wanted to just win a championship right now, and, within the next like year or two, then sure. But I just don't think that would be what's best for the organization. And I think what it would cost to get a Jimmy Butler at that point, you might as well get a Trey, or you might as well go get, a DeJounte Murray, or sell whatever you have to, because at least they would make sense now and the future, right? Even if you don't win a championship in the next year or two with that person, at least you have a star that can be here for the foreseeable future alongside Anthony Davis, where Jimmy Butler basically just fits LeBron's timeline. And he wants a new max contract that's going to extend him into probably 38 years old. It's just, very few people have been able to do that. Hey, I'm going to be 38, 39, 40 and be just a good player. I'm not even talking about LeBron, where he's like the gold standard. I'm talking about just being, a helping contributor or a starting level talent at that age, right? So again, to me, this is more. I don't think he's necessarily trolling the Lakers. I mean, there could be a little tongue in cheek there, right? And to an extent, I'm not completely ruling out the trolling, but I think this is more of a jab and shot to Miami. We've seen him do this numerous times with various other organizations. He loves to do those little, like, oh, Tobias Harris over me, type thing, right? Like, this is him. This is personality. This is his way of like sending his signals. You don't think that he knew what he was doing? You don't think Pat Riley isn't upset about something like this? Right? Like, Pat Riley had to endure LeBron James at a Cleveland Cavaliers game, and then like a week later leaving Miami to go back to Cleveland. Right? That's what this is. This is Jimmy Butler being Jimmy Butler, being the silly, goofy Jimmy Butler he can be at times, and just kind of causing a stir and going, okay, Pat Riley, you talking your talk, you're doing this, doing that. All right, like, watch, you want to play with my extension? You better give me an extension, dude. Right? Like, hey, purple and gold, they're very enticing. I could go elsewhere. I could demand a trade, right? You trade me, right? That's what this kind of feels like to me. This feels like Jimmy Butler just, kind of taking a shot at the Heat organization. And I think that ultimately, I mean, look, is it possible that Miami ends up unloading him and trading him and sending him somewhere? Sure, I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. Right? Pat Riley, I believe, loves Jimmy Butler. I think Pat Riley knows how big Jimmy Butler is for Miami and just the Heat culture in general. Right? Like, he's a guy that, again, he just doesn't take no BS. Keeps everybody in line, keeps all the ducks in the row, right? He's a guy that you can count on and show up, and when he does play in the playoffs, he's one of the biggest performers in the modern NBA, right? Like, the guy is ridiculous. He says playoff Jimmy isn't a real thing. It is. The regular season playoff Jimmy. It's just, my problem with Jimmy Butler is just, and another reason I don't think I'd want him on the Lakers is he's a guy that just doesn't really seem to take the regular season serious at all. I know he says he does. I know he got, but even this past season, there were times where it looked like Jimmy Butler could care less. Like, he was just on the court just so he'd get a paycheck and he didn't get fined or anything. Right? It was odd at times. And I mean, even the media was calling him out, and even commentators were calling him out. So it wasn't just me that thought that or saw that. And, Miami Heat fans even saw that. So I don't know. To me, I think this is more of just, again, Jimmy Butler using the purple and gold as leverage to ultimately get what he wants with the Miami Heat. Those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. And as always, pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, this is just Jimmy Butler doing Jimmy Butler things, right? Trying to cause a stir, trying to, create a leverage play that he can use to kind of get that extension that he wants with the Miami Heat? Do you think, no, like, hey, maybe Jimmy Butler's a real threat? If he was a real option, which, again, I don't believe he is, but, just for conversation's sake, if he was available and we could trade for him, would you want to trade for him, or do you think, nah, kind of just stay away from him? Don't even bother. Stay as far away as possible. But I don't hate the idea, depending on what the price is, right? If you could get him reasonable, then sure. But he doesn't fit what I think is a realistic timeline. I think he helps within the next year or two, but I don't know beyond that. is the problem, right? And if we're going to trade for a star, I want to get a star that helps now and for the future. The only way I would even consider something of his age would be like if you get a Kevin Durant, like then it's like, all right, like you kind of take the chance with that. But again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.